We have 5 regattas and we have 11 boats lining up on the start line. We're under starters orders inside 5 minutes. We have a fairly gentle breeze out here. Breeze is at 175, so just slightly to the east of south. And it's only about 6 or 7 knots, perfect flat water conditions. And really, this is a very open fleet now. Obviously, there's been a few team changes over the course of the winter. Quantum Racing now, Quantum Racing powered by American Magic. They have a bunch of younger sailors on board, and there's a few nerves on board the championship winning boat, the world champions last year and the 52 Super Series title winners. Also some key changes on board Phoenix, who were second last year. Phoenix of Santi Lang coming on board as tactician, stepping into the shoes of Tom Slingsby. So big shoes to fill, but Santi, super talented, won the 52 Super Series in 2019 with Azura. And also on Gladiator then, Guillermo Parada, who was the driving force behind the Azura project, winning the 52 Super Series title 4 times. So he's on board with the Gladiator this season as helmsman. Tony Langley, the owner, is tactician. And new team this season, Alpha Plus from Hong Kong, a mix of pro, semi-pro and amateur sailors. We spoke with them on the dock this morning, and there's a few nerves on board. The big step up. They've had the boat for I think 3 years, raced it domestically in the Asian circuits, but this has been a long-held dream for the owners, Sean and Tina Kang, to come and do the 52 Super Series, the pinnacle of Grand Prix monohull sailing. So we're looking at the start line. This is the first race of the season. Teams have been practicing over the weekend. Official practice race yesterday confirmed how open the fleet is. We saw Vayu winning the first practice race and Phoenix winning the second. So breeze seems to be quite right at the moment. Certainly the main part of the group is towards the committee boat end of the line. We've got Sled up there and Vayu along with Interlodge. Looking at the low risk starts down on this pin end. Well, actually, sorry, we have Vayu down this end on the left. Quantum nicely positioned to leeward of the group. We saw Gladiator starting very nicely. Guillermo Parada then really one of the best helmsmen ever in the 52s. John Cutler steering Provezza just to weather, just to windward. Vayu coming in towards the pin end of the line, Alpha Plus a little bit back on the line. Quantum just to weather of them. And I think we're seeing an AP. It looks like the breeze has shifted too much to make this line even. So we are postponed. The teams will probably rumble up this beat a little bit just to see how things play out, get a good idea of relative speeds against the opposition. Nice start from Harmüller Spreer, nicely positioned in the middle of the group, middle of the line. Yesterday we saw they were consistently quick. They were in the top 3 of both races. Made a small alteration, changed their keel fin. Did both the Frolic boats, Platoon and Privetz, have changed their keel fins. Harmüller Spreer telling us the other day that it's made such a difference. Got more grip in these conditions coming off the line. But there's no such thing as a free lunch in terms of speed. Smaller keel is certainly faster with less drag, but there's less grip at low speeds, particularly low speed manoeuvring. So, back in the fleet this season, and indeed they joined us in Barcelona, the French team Paprec. Certainly the first time we have had a 52 Super Series event in France. They are very much the hosts. They are very much a Breton team. The boat's based in Brittany generally. They've just done Spie West at Easter where they won the IRC class. And they've won here before on the Gulf of Saint-Tropez at Les Voiles de Saint-Tropez in the again in IRC racing. So we're going to take a little bit of a break then just now. We'll wait till we get back under starters orders. Join us very shortly. So you're back with us live after that AP signal. 20 degrees wind shift, breeze has gone still further right, and we're now inside 2 minutes before the start. In some respects that does give the teams just a little bit of a chance to settle the nerves a little bit. However, this looks like a very close start. There's still more of a group towards the right end of the line. We've got Allegri on this left side. Quantum quite forward in the middle of the group, taking up position. Jib flapping, staying down speed. Top of the line we see the black hull of Interlodge. Chris Matthews runs that project. Phoenix coming forward to 2 boats up from the left end of the line, bow down. Mind you, Phoenix going well on starboard, coming out from the left as well. Now this is going to be a close cross with Patrick and Phoenix. I think, yes, Patrick having to duck them and go behind, so that's going to cost Patrick. But good news for Phoenix working this left. Santi Lang, 2016 Olympic gold medalist in the NACRA class. Calling tactics, working with the hugely experienced and successful Cameron Dunn, long-time strategist on the Phoenix, and huge experience in this class, in fact. This left side looking quite good, I think, where our commentary boat is. We're positioned between Patrick and Phoenix. Remember I said earlier that Phoenix won the second practice race yesterday. So Gladiator, Quantum and Platoon have got some work to do. Sledge showing good early pace. We're just going to tack on the front of Patrick. So planting attack on the face of the French team. Meantime, Vayu going quite nicely in the middle of the pack. Remember I said they won the first practice race yesterday, though. It was a one-lap race finishing downwind, and they got through the line and dropped their kite in the water. So breeze is very, very shifty, but we saw last year that Vayu are very quick in these flat water 6 to 9 knot breezes. So we're going to be close at this top mark. We're converging with the shore, which will suggest that the breeze will be more shifty as we get into this top mark. A really lovely, tight, compact fleet at the moment. We have 3 boats on that right side. Interlodge, Alpha Plus and Fravezza. You would imagine you will start to get some kind of right-hander on that bay when these boats tack. So I said the Alpha Plus is a mix of pros and semi-pros and amateurs. Boat is steered by Jonathan John O'Rankin, who's been with the team for 3 years. Tactician is Ian Walker. Ian has massive experience in the TP52 class, going way back to the very beginning of the fleet in the Med in 2005, 6, and even has been back and raced in the fleet periodically since then. Now, of course, working for North Sails on board as well. Paul Westlake, flipper on the mainsail. Craig Monk, Simon Dobney, project managed by Guy Barron. And again, a quick boat in these conditions. Boat was originally the Prada Luna Rossa boat, which some of you may remember won in Croatia. And conditions very similar to this, very flat water, light breezes all the way through that week. So however, Platoon getting themselves back in the mix, just to weather now of Phoenix in just a little left-hander, a little lift. So remember that Vasco Vascoto joined that team in Scarlino, second last regatta of the season. He finished well in both Scarlino and in Barcelona. So a little bit of a speed race out on this left side between Phoenix and Platoon. Platoon just marginally higher, sailing a very slightly higher angle. Bayou going well as well in the middle of this left-hand group. Don and Dylan Whitcraft, the youngsters in the Whitcraft family. So there we see, just as I said earlier on, the right-hander coming closer to the shore, working really well for Provezza and Interlodge, I think. Coming in on a higher angle on starboard. So of course, although we are new as a class and as a circuit to this Gulf of Saint-Tropez, many of the top pros have sailed here year in, year out at the Voile de Saint-Tropez and the Giraglia, so they know these waters very well, equally well. So Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, getting back into the mix as well, done quite nicely in the middle right. Harry Melges the fourth steering the boat. Victor Diaz de Leon running a dual role as a strategist and a navigator. Saying this morning that the navigation side of it is all new to him. And John Kostecki, the glue at the back of the boat, new tactician to 52 Super, to the 52 Super Series champions, but has won 2 World Championships with Platoon before, and they have been 5 times on the podium, have Platoon over the last 5 years, 3 times second, and in the last two championship years, third. So John Kostecki is certainly one of the most talented tacticians in this fleet, and very much the master at comebacks. We saw that regularly with him with Platoon. The ability to turn a 5th or 6th into a 3rd or 4th, or even more. And as Ed Reynolds, the project manager on Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, told us early in the piece that he's very happy, and one of the main focuses was to keep the speed team together on Quantum Racing. They are one of the quickest boats on the water. And certainly the light air speed doesn't seem to be too bad just now. So fleet spreading out a little bit now. Bigger gaps appearing. Certainly the boats that went to the early right, closest to the shore, seem to have done well. And no significant changes really in the Provezza lineup. Certainly not at the back of the boat. Nacho Postigo, the long-time navigator. Hamish Pepper, tactician. Strategist is Cola Parada, who of course used to be with Azura. So interesting, just the key thing really at the moment in this these conditions is the breezes up and down, the angles open and close so much. If you get into a lighter breeze, into a quiet patch, a calm area, then you end up sailing a much more open angle. So it's really about keeping the boat in the pressure, in the lines of pressure up this first beat. So we'll do, certainly we're going to do 2 regattas this season with live TV. They will be Mahon at the Royal Cup in June, July, and the Rolex TP52 World Championships towards the end of the season. So very close as we come towards this top mark. Using robot buoys now on the 52 Super Series. Much easier for our race officer, Maria Torrio, to position. So Provezza attack just inside, I think it's Alpha Plus, Black Hull, but at the moment the leader is Interlodge. Cameron Appleton calling tactics, did a great job last season on the Interlodge. They've done a good job here on this first beat, coming round the top mark first. Alpha Plus then very much in the mix, overlapped with Provezza. Provezza, slightly slender ley line, but should be fine now. The other new face on board, Austin and Gwen Fragaman's Interlodge, is Stephanie Roble, American Olympian, doing tactics at the back of the boat there. She's done a great job up that first beat. Interlodge round first then. They've got a good lead, almost 3/4 of that offset leg. Second round is Provezza, Ergin Imre's Turkish flag team. Followed by Alpha Plus. Alpha Plus look like they're setting up for a jibe set. Very, very much in the mix, reminiscent in some ways of the performance of Value in the first regatta of last season. They've got these leading 3 boats, remember, came off the right side on the first upwind. And they're going to all 3 of them, I think, will be kite set. Yeah, well, certainly the first 2 will be kites set on the downwind before the 4th place boat, which is Allegra. Now remember, Allegra came off the pin end. And Alpha Plus then go for the jibe set. Considering the right-handed breeze is working for them on the upwind, then you will tend to stay to the left downwind. So that's the call of Ian Walker. Interlodge looking slippery down this first run. Nicely set up. Oh, too far. So there's a little bit of a split in the fleet among the top three. Provezza then choosing to stay right down this first run. No obvious increase in pressure. Still maybe 7 to 8 knots. Interlodge for me a little bit light on pressure just now. Provezza jibing. Now let's see whether Alpha Plus can make a gain down this this run. Provezza relatively slow jibe. I think you'll probably find they've lost out to Alpha Plus in the meantime. So the fleet is very spread out now. Big gap back to Phoenix, Paprec, and I think Sled. So probably quite even really between Alpha Plus and Provezza going down the run. Allegra in the middle of the downwind seemed to be going quite well. So if you've just joined us, we're in the first run of the first race of the 2023 52 Super Series circuit, and this is the 52 Super Series Saint-Tropez Sailing Week, our first time as a circuit here in France. Very gentle conditions just now. Particularly downwind. Breeze is, if anything, may have dropped very slightly, probably only 6 knots as we come down the run. Slow. So Gladiator working this right side downwind, looking for some extra pressure. Guillermo Parada on the wheels. Tony Langley, as I said, doing tactics, and Bruno Cirilli, the navigator who was with Azzurra and Guillermo Parada for so many years with the Gladiator program now. So Gladiator working into their jibe just in the next few seconds. So look at the angle the Gladiator going back at, not looking terribly special. And in general, I think That left side downwind seems to have been more pressure and slightly more headed breeze as predicted by the afterguard and Alpha Plus with that jibe set. So we were expecting a light wind week and we're starting with gentle breezes. There's a suggestion we may see the sea breeze build in the afternoon, but 2 o'clock or just after 2 o'clock local time, you'd expect it to be coming in soon. No obvious clouds over the hills, really. It's a very pleasant afternoon though. Sunshine and temperatures around about 15-16 degrees Celsius. So as always, it's not about winning the first race or the second race or the third race. It's consistency on the 52 Super Series that wins the circuit and wins regattas. It's being able to consistently get top 3, top 4 places. And so from that point of view, I'm quite sure there's, although it was a very modest start by Quantum Racing, no need to panic, no alarm bells ringing. Just, as Terry Hutchison was always so fond of saying, just chipping away. Letting the boat do the work. And the America's Cup winning speed team, so much talent on board the Quantum Racing. However, all credit to the Interlodge team. Austin Fragaman steering. He's very much the conditions he likes. Had the boat back in the US over the winter. But he and his wife Gwen love the 52 Super Series, love the travelling, love coming to new venues. And like everyone else in the fleet, they love winning. When it comes along, they've got a good position just now, as have Alpha Plus. So the breeze building from the upper left looking upwind. Just some pressure coming down the course. Working for Allegri a little bit and also Quantum Racing. For the next few minutes, getting down through the leeward gate, it's going to be interesting to see what the afterguards choose. Remember that right side very much paid on the upwind. The top 3 boats went right. And for me, if anything, the breeze going slightly right again, possibly. If you look at the angle that the 3 boats in 4th, 5th and 6th are sailing compared to the boats which are digging down towards the leeward gate. Maybe a little bit more rotation to the right, but let's wait and see. So indeed, Maria Torrijo, our race officer, just confirming that the windward mark is now moved to 2:05. I think we started in 1:95. So another 10-degree shift to the right is very much characteristic of the afternoon sea breeze in the Med. So when it will settle down, but good call I think from Ian Walker on the Alpha Plus, taking the early jibe. They've got themselves up, I would say, pretty much on terms with Preveza, or certainly it's going to be quite close between the two of them. So it's Interlodge, Austin and Gwen Fragment's team from the New York Yacht Club, based out of Newport. Cameron Appleton as tactician, Stephanie Roble as the strategist. Ian Moore is a navigator this year. Juan Villa has, like a few other sailors in this fleet, have had to new roles with America's Cup teams. And so Ian Moore on board the Interlodge has obviously sailed many thousands of miles with Ian Walker over the years, and so in fact a little bit of a split here. Interlodge round the leeward mark with the lead. Preveza around the right hand mark looking upwind as well. Coming around the left hand mark looking upwind will be Alpha Plus. So look like this the gap back to fourth, back to Allegra is pretty steady. No immediate gains to Allegra, although Gladiator coming in nicely in fifth ahead of Quantum. So Gladiator coming in with a little bit of pace, in fact, a little gust for them, just dropping the kite as they started to accelerate. Nice smooth rounding, loads of talent on board the Gladiator. Just chasing Allegra around that right hand mark, looking upwind. Quantum then choosing the left hand mark. Then a little bit of a gap back to the other four boats. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. 8th is Vayu, 9th Platoon, 10th the Phoenix, and Paprec 11th for the moment. Platoon 3rd overall last season in the depths of the fleet, as are Phoenix, who were 2nd overall for the season last year. So breeze is probably up to 8.5 knots, maybe 9. You have a little bit of a sensation the breeze might keep building. Certainly the boats are fully powered up upwind, maximum hiking. I think a little bit more pressure on this left side just after the leeward gate. A little bit of a dogfight, a little battle, unfortunately, between Platoon and Phoenix. So perhaps, if anything, a very small gain to Provezza over on that right side, closest to the shore, perhaps. But that lead of Interlodge is pretty solid. So certainly looking promising for the second race. Breeze is built a little bit more, still increasing steadily and getting just a little bit of chop on the water now, as we quite often found very quickly down here on the Gulf of Saint-Tropez. Nasty little chop builds up quite quickly. Quite awkward to keep the boats moving well. However, that's all for this second race. We'll see what happens. So it's 7 boats training in Valencia over the Easter period. And the conclusion there was very much how close the fleet is. Paprec, as I said, we're training on home waters out of La Trinité-sur-Mer and racing at the Spi West Regatta, which they won, but just not the same level of fleet, same level of intensity as doing a week with the fleet in Valencia. But actually just looking upwind just now, and team at the back of the Interlodge really doing a great job. If anything, they've extended over Provezza. As I say, if I'm sure that if Alpha Plus can get through the finish line with a third, they'd be very happy with that. So you'd have to think the Prevets are pretty secure in second for the moment. Keep a loose cover on the boats behind. And indeed Alpha Plus have got a little bit of leverage on Allegra. Smoother, flatter water to the right, closer to the shore. A little bit less wind pressure. We're looking at Interlodge very slightly more upright. So important after a long winter for the technical teams, optimising the boats, debriefing last season, making changes for this season. So important to come out and put in a good performance in the early part of the regatta. And of course, to a great extent, this first race is about the first beat strategy. Top 3 boats going right. It's also great credit to Chris Matthews and the Interlodge team.
All the way around to the first one, working then a bit faster and just get a shot of them coming up.
Look like they have this race, this first race of the 11th season of the 52 Super Series. This first race in their pocket for the meantime. See, quite a big spread through the fleet. Of course, as we're always fond of saying, this circuit has no discards. So right now, even at this stage, an 11 boat fleet, an 8th, a 9th, 10th or 11th is pretty expensive. You really need to be coming back and offsetting that with a good result in the next race. We should do 2 races today. So bow number 6, the black hulled Interlodge, will be coming round the final windward mark. Austin Fragaman brings the helm down and gets across that offset leg. Stephanie Robelin at the back of the boat. Cameron Appleton, Ian Moore, trimmer Dave Armitage of Doyle Sails. And bow number 9, red hull, Turkish flagged Provetsa, Ergen Imre. No big secret that Ergen was reached a point during last season where he was wondering whether he would go on. But days like this, starts like this, just keep you motivated. Just keep a gentleman of his age and experience, long time campaigner at the top level of Grand Prix racing for so many years. Days like this keep him motivated. And they finished strongly last year. They started badly, if you remember, in Bayona. They had a problem, technical problem that meant they missed a couple of races. So Alpha Plus will be coming round in third with Allegra in their exhaust coming around the top mark. Sailed very nicely indeed. It's one thing to get around the course in third, it's another to make no visible mistakes, be they small or large. And they're also one of the boats that didn't join in the fleet training in Valencia, whereas fourth place Andy Soriano on the Allegra, prime mover of the training, did well. But they have Alpha Plus in their sights, and the team from Hong Kong are going to know they're under pressure down this run. Simon Dobney, America's Cup winner, trimming on the Alpha Plus, rolling into the jibe. Not such a smooth jibe. A small gain to Allegra down this run, but in the early part of the run, Quantum in fourth with the Gladiator in fifth. And Quantum going for the jibe set straight away. First team to jibe set. Now I see this being as a straight gain to them against Allegra. Allegra have been a little bit slow out to that to their jibe. So fifth are Gladiator, sixth are Sled, and then a gap back to 7 to 11. As I said, first time we've come to France, first time we've been in Saint-Tropez. Very much at the request of a few owners who I've been here many times and love it, not least Tony Langley, our French team on Paprec. And so it's certainly not Cascais in terms of breeze. This is about exacting light to moderate air sailing, tactical racing, loads of opportunities. On a beautiful day like this, we do certainly endorse the decision to come here. And of course, those of you who follow us on social media will know and have seen the beautiful images of the 11 boat 52 Super Series fleet lined up in the heart of the beautiful little town on the harbour. And it's great to have a little bit of public interest. So much a tradition in Saint-Tropez. The visitors come and watch the boats, watch the fleet leaving the dock. Quite fun today to have some American visitors just wandering along the old harbour in Saint-Tropez and seeing the Quantum racing powered by American Magic on the dock, and realising the boat is registered in Michigan and they were from Michigan, just going, you come all this way and there's a home registered boat racing on this Pinnacle Grand Prix circuit. It's a nice call, I think, then from Gladiator, perhaps. Let's just see how this one plays out. Coming down this right side, Gladiator have come out to the right, seem to be sailing on a slightly headed course for me on Port Jibe. Quantum to the left with Sled just bouncing slightly, Kite bouncing in lighter airs. So not such an opening for Platoon Aviation. Harm Muller-Spear's team were speaking with Harm last night, saying he really felt they were in competitive form. They were in top 3 all the way through the practice races, and they're certainly one of the form teams in Valencia in training. They really struggled after a very poor start. Not managed to get themselves back into the top half of the fleet, really. So over halfway down this second run, race 1, and it's looking very much like a win for Interlodge. If anything, they've extended over Provezza, and actually indeed Gladiator have got themselves through Quantum, and they're actually challenging the Allegra jibing away. So Allegra very much under pressure from Gladiator, less so I think from Quantum, who lost out in a couple of little jibes they did. Although I would say at the moment Gladiator coming away on the not on the making jibe, sailing quite a high open angle in the meantime. Wonder, it's interesting to see how this plays out, because certainly Gladiator have got themselves into the 2 boats in front of them, and now sailing quite high. They must see some more pressure out on this right side. Could be a close finish, but and certainly in the middle of the fleet, perhaps, but I think we can say there's no mistaking who the top 3 will be. And as I say, the breeze was certainly threatening about 20 minutes ago. We thought it was going to build, and there were some signs it was, and really in the end it's probably very slightly more than we started in. But I don't think you'll find too many complaints about the conditions today. Nice gentle introduction to the season. It's been about precision, boat speed, handling and changing gears. Not too much physical stress on the teams, and a chance to shed the mental stress of day one. Now, whether that's on the strength of a good result or knowing what you do, what you have to do to get back from a bad result, such as I think we're seeing with Phoenix and Platoon Aviation, just to name a couple. Anyway, finish line very much in sight for Interlodge. Gladiator really taking a big hitch out to that right side, looking downwind. Might they be snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, but let's see. The breeze is quite light in the middle of the course, where sled are in particular and quantum are. So perhaps it's all about getting a fast angle for the Gladiator. So it's interesting, Maria Torrijos, our PRO, I spoke with her before we went on the water, and she was saying, well, actually, she had seen a forecast much the same as yesterday's. We saw 12-14 knots in the afternoon for the second race, the second short practice race. She said, well, yeah, we could see the same again, but the model's really not agreeing today, and she suspected it might stay light and 2:45 local time. I don't see too much chance of this breeze increasing, but I would be very happy to be wrong. So Pravetsa jibe and point at the line. Interlodge cover. And in the end, these top three boats, no place changing since the top mark. But their margin, their differential between third and fourth is going to be quite significant. And meantime, for those of you watching the tracker, let's keep an eye on the Gladiator. So it's going to be Interlodge winning the first race of the season. They've only got about 30 metres to come down through the finish line. Pravetsa will get second. And looking very much like a third for the Alpha Plus. So there we go, first gun off the season. It goes to Interlodge, coming through the finish line now. Big smiles on board. And pat on the back for owner-driver Austin Fragaman. Travezza through for second. Oh, stay. It's a nice debut then for the team from Hong Kong. Without a doubt, probably the most nervous team. Certainly the first timers on the Super Series were very nervous. And a great account of themselves coming through the finish line in third. So credit to the team from Alpha Plus. Big refit through the winter, Guy Barron in charge, and the sailing team give them their reward straight off the bat. Now, as the team and Vayu will be only happy to underline, it's now about managing expectations. It's one race. And Allegra then coming through for fourth. Pretty much been fourth all the way around. They were challenged by Gladiator, I would say, in the few minutes ago, about halfway down, just over halfway down the run. But Allegra then come through for fourth. Probably not too many complaints about that. They started off the pin end of the line and the best of the left-hand group, shall we call them. And Gladiator will get Quantum and Sled. So 5th place for Gladiator, top half of the fleet. Guillermo Parada just pulling the bow down very slightly and bringing the boat through the finish line. Ahead of Quantum. Quantum then getting 6th. Say Quantum gets 6th. Close for 7th between Sled and Platoon. Platoon will just, I think, pip them. Bow down for Hammerless Spear. Just pips Sled on the finish. A little bit of tension on board the Platoon Aviation, but they do just get Sled. Then Phoenix coming through. In 9th, and it's close for 10th between Vayu and Paprec. And indeed, Vayu just pipping Paprec to the line. So there we have it, first race of the season. Nice win for Austin and Gwen Fragaman's team. On Interledge, Provezza getting second. Alpha Plus debutants starting with a third place. Allegra then across in fourth, Gladiator fifth, Quantum Racing in sixth. Sorry, Allegra fourth, Gladiator fifth, Quantum Racing sixth, Platoon seventh, Sled eighth, Phoenix ninth, Value 10th, and Paprec in 11th. So that's our provisional results for this race. We're going to take a little bit of a break now and join us again for race 2. Keep watching our social media channels, and we'll join you again in a wee while. Thank you for listening. So less than 1 minute to go to the start of race number 2 here, first day of the season here in Saint-Tropez. Breeze seems to be quite right. We're in 2:05 was the wind axis of this second race. The breeze has been moving right consistently, and the fleet really is grouping towards the committee boat end of the line. Sled protecting the boat as best they can, but they're going to need a little bit of runway to get inside the ley line. So too Quantum Racing holding the windward end of the line up. For me just now, Phoenix are looking like they're getting closed out. Indeed they are. Phoenix having to tack all the way round. It's going to be a long way round for them. So gun goes, all boats are clear. Good start from Provezza. Also good start from Platoon, powered by Platoon Aviation. Interlodge in the mix. Paprec tack off early at the committee boat end of the line, going for the right. So too Sled. Provezza made a nice start, but not quite as quick, not quite got the legs off the start line. Correspondingly, Quantum were nicely positioned, but didn't have the critical acceleration. Alpha Plus were second row off the line, having to tack out. And Phoenix clearly have some work to do on their communication. Getting off the line in 11th place. But actually good wind pressure now off the line. 8 to 9 knots was the official wind reading. I consider we've probably got 10 now. Paprec going quite well on this right side. It's all about getting up to maximum boat speed as quickly as possible. Getting into a clear lane of uninhibited breeze. And actually this time Vasco Vascotto and Jordi Calafat on the Platoon Aviation seem to have got themselves into a good solid position early on. I think probably moving forward on Interlodge, just almost on the weather hip of the race 1 winners. But for sure, looks like the challenge is to get out to this right side early. Who can own the right side early on? Paprec going better in this race off the line for sure. But they have a little bit of a waiting game. They need the boats inside them to go. They could probably slide about from where they are at the moment. So breeze up and down a little bit. I say it's probably 10 knots off the line. It's now eased back to 8.5, 9, but teams are pretty much full hiking. Alpha Plus have tacked, just caught in the dirty air of the boats in front of them. In the meantime, sled trying to climb up into the line of Interlodge, feeling a high mode, trying to squeeze up and force Interlodge to tack off. So for me, probably the best position at the moment is Platoon. On our right hand side, looking up the course, they have the boat still lured off them, well covered, and they're going quickly. Not such a good start from Gladiator. Back in the second rank, coming up this first beat. For me, Platoon Aviation just slightly higher than Sled. Sled of a new strategist, losing Francesco Bruni to full-time participation with Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, the Italian team that he was with through the last Cup. All of the commitments heightened in this pre-Cup year, and so Francesco Bruni has stepped off the sled this year, and it's a Michele Avaldi who was the strategist with Quantum Racing, the world champions in 2022, 52 Super Series champions. So Michele, a good navigator, good strategist. He joins the afterguard of the sled, which is Murray Jones, tactician, and Andrea Vicentini, the navigator. So keeping up the Italian complement at the back of the sled. Sled going well just now, just getting themselves clear of Interlodge. Mr. Akura doing a lovely job, owner driver of the sled. Allegra furthest on that left side, I think. Patrick crossing Gladiator, getting out to get out of the corner they were a little bit pinned into. Just clearing their lines. A lot of the team has been working hard through the winter on their rig setup, not least sled. We're speaking with Don Cowie through the winter, saying they've completely changed the way they set up the rig. Certainly seems to be going well just now. Good pace relative to Platoon Aviation to their windward. Certainly seem to get height relative to Interlodge. The squeezed Interlodge off in the end. Travezza going quite well. More in the middle of the course. They're certainly quite the weather of sled. So for those of you who have never sailed or experienced the Gulf of Saint-Tropez, it's a nice, very, very open bay, nice flat water at this time of year. Early May, there's not many boats around, certainly not in the middle of the week. Big contrast to high summer. As I said, a lot of the teams, a lot of the top pros have raced here many, many times, but it's usually summer or more often Les Voiles de Saint-Tropez in the autumn. So early May is something new to them. I was talking with Nacho Postigo, the navigator on Prevezza. Nacho saying that the water temperature here quite a bit colder than Palma. I think it's talking around about 15 degrees. And so the propensity, the possibility of good sea breezes is increased. But this is looking good for the boats in the middle, a right looking upwind. So principally for Prevezza. The big value in the mix as well, but so Prevezza will tack just I think in front of and forward of our Platoon, but Platoon would probably have been able to cross them. We'll be close at this top mark. Allegra furthest out to the left, seems to have a long way to come back. Bayou, Prevezza, Platoon Aviation and Sled all quite close on this right side. The race won the winner interlodged very much in the middle of the pack just now. Patrick coming across from the left side. Imagine that the top mark. One big outlier. See some lighter patches on the water, but breeze is built once again. 9 and a little bit more, almost 10 knots probably. Quite dark water at the windward part. It's a little puff rolling gently down the course. So racing in this 205 breeze, 205 degrees, and it's towards the mouth of the bay, as it were, so the breeze is fairly settled just now. Still nice flat water. So it's going to be super close at this top mark. Things squeezing up now. Allegra have come across and tacked inside Interlodge. Don't quite have the legs to get inside them, I don't think. Maybe just a little bit shy on ley line. Could be Value, could be Interlodge. We're just I think Value have a nice solid ley line, maybe just a little bit too solid, giving away a boat length perhaps, but slim ley line for Allegra. Allegra just struggling very slightly. Nice good work from the Interlodge and Value. Provezza overlaying just a little bit, coming in with pace. Now Allegra in trouble because they're trying to shoot the mark. They've got 2 boats coming across their wind. Jib is backed, and I think in the end they'll probably shoot it okay. They will in the end get mark room on sled. So really nice work from Allegra, though they have lost quite a lot of boat speed. Sled will come over their bows. So looking like a good day for the Interlodge, who actually get round inside Value at the offset mark. Jibe set. So too Value jibe set. Sled coming across at pace. Just a little bit scrappy getting their set organised, but they should be fine. So all 3 leading boats jibe set. Interlodge getting away with it. Now this could be a red letter day for Interlodge. And indeed Provezza in the top 3 just now, but it's super close on this top mark. Platoon Aviation go for a standard set, bear away. So too Paprec, so too Quantum. So the top 4 boats have all jibe set, top 5 in fact. Platoon Aviation, Paprec, Quantum all going for standard bear away. Alpha Plus back in 9th place at the top mark, going for the jibe set. So too Gladiator. And the Plattner family's Phoenix in 11th behind Quantum Racing. It's a little shift perhaps. Breeze maybe going further to the right. Certainly the boats on this left side are leading the leading group on the left downwind are quite strapped, but also they're all very close together. Interlodge under pressure from the boats outside of them. So value very much in the mix. I was saying earlier on, Dylan and Don Whitcraft at the back of the value, doing a 49er program once again, doing the Olympic circuit, trying to qualify for the 2024 Olympics, which will take place just along the coast in Marseille. They were racing in Years last week. And certainly pushing the Interlodge just now. A little gap, I think, opening up between Sled and Platoon. Alpha Plus going quite well down this left side, sailing the boat quite nicely. So still quite a gentle downwind. The breeze does look fairly even across the racetrack. Just 3:45 local time. And Interlodge going very well. I said two key crew changes on board. Juan Villa replaced by Ian Moore. Ian Moore sailed with Quantum Racing for a few years, won the World Championship with them and the circuit title, if I'm not wrong. And Stephanie Robel, a 3 times World Match Racing Champion, 2020 Olympian in the 49er FX. So augmenting Cameron Appleton as who's a tactician. And I think Interlodge won 1 race last year. That was their only race win since they rejoined the circuit, which they did when they when Austin and Gwen Fragaman purchased the boat they have now, which was of course the Azura previously. So over halfway down the run, actually Pat Brett coming in nicely from that right side. Got themselves into the mix this time. A little bit easier to stay and race with the fleet when you're in the pack than it is to be taking places from the back of the fleet, particularly in these conditions. So yeah, Patrick have jibed in beside Prevette, in fact forcing Prevette to jibe away. Tactician on Patrick this week is Mano Diane. Navigator is Jean-Charles Monet, who's the an Aloca project manager, as well as the top class navigator. Normal tactician Yann Chateau is not available this week. He's running helping run a Figaro race across the Atlantic. Is Yann, assistant race director, and brother of the helmsman Cedric Chateau, accomplished match racer and offshore racer in the Class 40. So the gate to the windward mark is now 1.3 miles, which indicates the breeze is softening. Is it? Yeah. So say indicates the breeze is softening. Now then, choice of leeward gate mark is key here. For me, this right hand mark looking upwind has a very slight bias. Certainly that's the choice of Cameron Appleton. Instead, Interlodge, the only boat in the fleet on Doyle sails. Now then, Value are going to come through here in second. One of the 3 boats in this fleet now on Quantum. Value have been with Quantum since the start, or since they started really campaign the boat in their second year. Done well down that run. Really got themselves clear of Provezza. So it's we're watching the Thai flagged team. They've now got 4 people on the leeward rail, just giving the boat a little bit of lean, a little bit of power as they squeeze through the dirt here of the boats coming into the leeward gate, just to weather of them. Now there's always that disadvantage coming out of the leeward gate when the majority of the fleet are coming in to windward of you. And from that point of view, actually Allegra and Paprec should do a little bit better coming out from that left side. The breeze is quite gentle then now. So there, Value putting 4 people to leeward. Everybody inside or inboard on Provezza. Platoon slow out of the leeward mark, but they're in a pretty decent position. Alpha Plus very much in the mix. Certainly not disgracing themselves on day one. And actually Quantum now 10th and Phoenix 11th. So hopefully that's just a momentary drop in the breeze. I suspect not. It's quite late in the day and the thermal effect eases off. However, let's get this race done. All the teams now say racing with weight to leeward. One body up now and hiking on Platoon. Aviation. So Platoon Aviation is the private jet company owned by Harmüller Spreer. Just watch your wake in Alpha Plus. Yeah. It's okay.
Get the live picture.
The race filling very slightly now. We've got four bodies up on Alpha Plus. That's very much, I think, the way this race is going to go. Quite light and shifty now. It's going to be all about staying in the pressure. And using a shift so Interlodge have a nice little margin just now. Seem to be staying in the pressure to the right of the course, looking upwind. Gladiator going left. So indeed, the Thai team with Whitcraft's doing a nice job of keeping the value rumbling in this light breeze. Maximum power. We have 5 members of the family, the Whitcraft family, on board. Pretty much an unchanged lineup, missing Neti, the very well-known Spanish professional who's not with us, not with them here. He's racing in the I know he's training with the Magic Carpet team, but otherwise the back of the boat is as was, with Don Whitcraft steering. Tactician is Nick Rogers, main sheet Tom Green, navigator Miles Seddon. Indeed, I remember now, it was last year in Puerto Portals that Interlodge won a race. I remember the big smile on Austin Fragman's face, but I think they were leading the regatta at that point. Certainly up in the top group from what I remember, and but he's very much a realist in saying you never know in this fleet. However, coming away with a pair of wins today on the first day of the season would be very sweet for this team. But overall, really just endorsing what we keep saying, that any team in this fleet can win races. And increasingly, I think any team, or any one of the top 5 or 6 teams, can win regattas. There's going to be some tough times for the Quantum Racing team in particular, and Phoenix perhaps. We're seeing that. Communication is key getting off the start line, and one of the things with the Super Series is you're limited in the amount of training you can do together. Just the number of days is limited, and also there's a time pressure on these top pros, and indeed the owners. Many of the owners, most of our owners, are very active in their businesses and can't take too much time off. And so getting the team up to speed, getting the starting communications, the fine detail of getting a TP52 off the start line at maximum speed and a clear lane, it's not something you achieve in a few days. So I suspect this is going to be a little bit of a slow downwind. The breeze is staying in okay, looking up to windward. The real test of coordination between the trimmers and the helms, tacticians and strategists keeping the boat in the best lane of breeze. So Gladiator way over on the left side, sailing quite a high angle, and I think decent breeze, certainly lifting. We've just seen the bow come up again. For sure not afraid to do something different. Certainly gaining on the pack. The pack being Provezza, Sled, Allegra, Phoenix and Quantum Racing. Quantum Racing attacking now. Maybe see a little lefty coming across, little left-hander. So certainly breeze is a little bit patchier as we come up to the windward mark. Indeed, that is a little gain to the Gladiator. Patrick hanging in there in their position. Breeze. It's a very big holes in the breeze. All the teams working really hard to keep the boats moving well as best as possible. Keeping the foils powered up. Keeping the sails full. Gladiator just to weather of Provezza. As I said, at the leeward gate, the windward leg is shortened to 1.3 miles. PRO and the race team very much on top of the breeze easing. They've done their best. And so Interlodge take a hitch to weather. Interesting that once again then Vayu have given themselves a little bit of sea room, a little bit of a really comfortable ley line, just knowing how light it is. They don't want to be coming in here and squeezing too much. I think if anything they might have made a little gain back at Interlodge. Indeed they have. We can just see Helm Don Whitcraft just pulling the bow up just to close the separation on Interlodge. Credit to Gladiator, they've done a nice job getting back into the top few in this fleet. Big lefty, big hitch out to the left coming upwind. So change of course for the downwind as well, to a shortened course it says. So Interlodge coming around the top mark, and that looks like a shortened course. In fact, they've got no kite set. So it looks like a race win then to Interlodge. Big pat in the back then, say course shortened at the last minute because the breeze had disappeared. So Austin Fragaman very happy there, coming over with 2 wins for the day. Good call from Maria and the race team. So second place then for Vayu. Gladiator sneaking a third there. Audacious second beat. So Gladiator third. First Interlodge, second Vayu, third Gladiator. I figure that probably Allegri will get fourth. So no mistaking who's going to be leading this regatta after day one. So just a message coming in from Maria, just saying the breeze has dried to 3 knots. Let's get this race finished. And that's what she's doing. So Allegri will get 4th. Now Patrick are just low of a ley line. They're going to have to squeeze right up as best as they can, maybe shoot the mark. They have the advantage of being on starboard tack. They don't really have room to, well actually they will just close the door on the boats behind. But Provezza coming through for 5th. Almost overlapped with Provezza in the end. Patrick just almost struggling to get through the finish. Really precision driving from Patrick. Patrick are the only team that are going to stick a kite up. However, get themselves home. So Patrick gets 6th, 7th will be Sled. And in fact, Phoenix maybe just pulling something out of the bag here. Maybe got themselves a little bit of room to weather of the 2 boats which are going to be finishing quite slowly. But a real test for Harry Melges, 4th on Quantum. Trying to shoot the mark inside Platoon Aviation. Quantum Racing powered by American Magic. Platoon Aviation side by side through the finish line, and Quantum get 7th. Platoon get 8th. The 9th will be sorry, 10th I think. 10th actually is Phoenix. And unfortunately Alpha Plus going to come through for 11th. It's a little bit of a reality check unfortunately for the Alpha Plus team after that 3rd in the first race, but good call from Maria then, just getting that race finished at the windward mark. The breeze is now pretty much glassed off, so that's our first day of racing here on the Gulf of Saint-Tropez, first time ever here. And the team from Rhode Island, Austin and Gwen Fragamans, Interlodge coming away with 2 wins, guided by an afterguard of Cameron Appleton, Stephanie Roble and Ian Moore. Austin steering the boat to 2 wins, and that's one to remember. So thank you for joining us on this first day. Join us again tomorrow, same time. Our starts are programmed for 1 o'clock each day, and we'll speak to you then.